It's Tuesday the 11th of August 2026 and I've come up to the Lake District once more, and this morning I've come up into Borrowdale and in particular to Seatoller, and I'm going to do a walk hopefully up to Glaramara and Allen Crags. I've parked here on the National Trust car park at Seatoller, and being a member it's free to park. And it's a lovely morning. We're promised a good day today, warm, hopefully not too hot, but yeah, looking forward to this one. Right, so off we go then. I'm going to make my way back out onto the road I drove in on and walk down that for a short way before turning off. That's quite a view. Right, I'm just approaching Strands Bridge, and on the opposite side there should be a path off to the right which will take me up to Seathwaite Farm. Here we are. Path here. Not that you could read it. As I said, this is Strands Bridge. Nice little spot. And this lane here will take me eventually up to Seathwaite Farm, where I'll join the path up to Stockley Bridge. I could actually have gone up the road to Seathwaite Farm, which is further up near the car park. But yeah, I think this will be more interesting going up this way. And I've been up that path before. It's not overly interesting. So yeah, give this a go. The first stop today, well, when I say stop, the first high point of today will be Allen Crags. But before then it's a quite a steady walk up by Grange Gill and Ruddy Gill. So it gets your blood pumping a little bit before you start the actual climb. Just where the path bends to the right here, the track carries on down to the farm, but our way is across the fields next. This signpost points the way to Seathwaite. Right, having left the solid track I was on, I've come along by this wall here and along this nice green track, which will take me up to Seathwaite. This is a really lovely stretch of walk here, and much better than walking on the roadway to Seathwaite Farm, although it is a bit of a trek round to get to. But yeah, really enjoying this. Be careful here. Look at the size of this thing. Where on earth did that come from? Goodness me. There's a fair old lump of rock, is that? Just back here there's a temptation to leave this path that I'm on and there's a little track seems to have been made through the grass here, but it's very, very squelchy, so I would advise sticking to the path at this point. Right, it's getting rather warm now, so in view of what's to come, I've got rid of the micro fleece, and yeah, it is very, very pleasant indeed. There's a nice little breeze blowing. Well, having done about 2 miles, I've come to Seathwaite Farm, and just along here is the track which comes up from just across from the car park at Seatoller. There's a direct route to well, Scarfell Pike and what have you up to this point. So yeah, I suppose I could have come that track up through the farm here. It would have saved me quite a bit of time and quite a bit of distance perhaps, but where's the fun in that? So if you fancy a bit of a challenge, do it the way I've done it. If not, come the short route. So I'm making my way up now, and the next feature I'll see is Stockley Bridge. Right, I'm just making my way to Stockley Bridge now, and just off up here is the waterfall of Taylorgill Force. There's actually a path which runs quite close to that, you can get a decent view of it, but there's a much easier path that runs below it, but unfortunately you don't get the same view. Yeah, that's quite impressive, so we haven't had much rain recently. Just up ahead there is a group of people heading up on the path which branches off at Stockley Bridge, no doubt heading for Scarfell Pike via the corridor route. And this is Stockley Bridge, so you've got the choice here of heading off straight ahead after you pass the bridge up to Scarfell Pike, or turning left as I'm going to do and go up Grainsgill and Ruddygill. And at this moment I've got the path all to myself, there isn't a soul in sight. So as I said, everyone must be heading up to Scarfell Pike today. Well, so far it's been a steady rather than steep climb, but it's going to get steep soon because I know I've got to get up there at some stage and further beyond perhaps. So yeah, I've quite a bit of climbing to do yet. But again, lovely view back down the valley here. I just bumped into a couple with 2 kids, which people I've seen on this path. There's a nice waterfall here. and above it the bulk of Great End. This is a lovely stretch of the path. The first half or so was pretty mundane, wasn't a lot to see, but now when you get up here and you look at the waterfalls and what have you, yeah, it's really lovely. And I think there's more still further up here. Let's go and have a see. Well, it's a toughie, is this? And about to get even tougher in a minute. There's a really steep climb to come, but hopefully at the top there I'll be nearly at Escalls and ready for the next climb up onto Allen Crags. So I'll just have a couple of minutes here first. Yet another break on the climb up, and that's a lovely view there down the valley. Absolutely superb. And this is what's off to my right as I climb up, and going round up to Great End. This is a fair old drop. Well, thankfully the path's starting to flatten out now. That's been one tough climb up there, but the views you get from up here are absolutely brilliant. To Great End behind me, and all around here. And now it's just a matter of getting to the foot of Allen Crags, having some lunch before hopping up there. We're still going up, albeit not quite as steeply at the moment. I nearly missed my way there. There's a split in the path just here. There One path carries on straight up there, and this one cuts off here. So I think this is the one I need. I'm just having a break here. I'm trying to hold out until I get to the foot of Allen Crags before I have my lunch. But this is the looking back to what's behind me now. And here I am at last at Escort. So I'll have some lunch somewhere around here and then I'll crack on up to Allen Crags. And that's the path. It takes you up to Scarfell Pike. A lot of people going up there today. There are the Langdales. It's quite breezy. Got to be finding somewhere where there isn't as much breeze, I think. A wall shelter just across from me. And that's the way up onto Allen Crags, I believe. So yes, I'll just go up to this shelter here and have a break. I actually had my lunch there when I came up to Spike and Waterfalls. Right, I'm not going to go to the wind shelter to have my lunch. It's alright here. There's just at the foot of Escort, Allen Crags. So I'll have my lunch, get a bit of energy inside me and then crack on. Right, I've just returned from lunch now to the four-way crossroads here. And yeah, that way heads down into Langdale. As I said, this way goes up to Scarfell Pike. The way I've come up goes back down to Borrowdale, and now I'm going to start the short but relatively steep climb up onto Allen Crags. Glaramara is out over here. A bit of a depression before you get to Glaramara. There's a lovely view from up here as well, down onto Sprinkling Tarn down in the bottom there. Scarfell Pike, Great End. Yeah, the lot. Right, well that's Allen Crags done and dusted. I'm getting my way off to Glaramara now. You can see the track just ahead there, about the middle of the picture. The cairn up on the little ridge there. So I said it's a bit of a depression and down before you get up to Glaramara. Here we go, down here. After being a little sketchy initially, the path is getting easier to follow now, and I'm going to be passing a few pools down in the bottom here before I rise up onto the summit of Glaramara. I've started to see a few more people in the last 15-20 minutes since I left Allen Crags. I was beginning to think I was one of the few who came up here today, but no, obviously not. But having said that, I'm still surprised at the number of people who've gone up to Scarfell Pike by the way I came up to Escores and then up. I would have thought it was much easier going up by the corridor route, because it's a heck of a slog up from Seathwaite up to Escores, and then you've got the slog up onto Scarfell Pike after. So yeah, a little surprised at that. That's the view looking back up to Allen Crags. The path continues to be a little indistinct in places, but here is High House Torn. It's not overly impressive, but it's okay. It breaks the monotony up a little bit of the rocks. And that's the way onward. Well, that's been really tough coming up there. Path's very indistinct. I've never been entirely sure of where I was. So I'm glad I've got the GPS watch, which I've plotted the route on. That's helped. And up ahead there is the summit of Glaramara. So it's another climb to get up to there. And then hopefully that's the end of the climbing for the day. And here I am on the southern top of Glaramara. According to the guide writer Mark Richards, this isn't the actual summit. The summit is further across. There's another cairn just over here. So that may be the summit. But this is the southern top. Oh, it's a bit breezy up here. But yeah, what a view. All round. Oh, and back down to Derwent Water in the distance. So yeah, I'll just nip over to the summit, true summit after. Hope you can hear me for the wind up here. Having spent some time on the southern top of Glaramara, I'm going to make my way up to the actual summit now. It's just ahead of me here. Here we go, the true summit of Glaramara. In fact, this isn't the summit actually. I think the summit is over yonder. Right, well, we'll go over there then. What a view from up here again. And there's a stone shelter here, which is handy. The wind's howling. Yeah, this looks lower than the south top to me, but that's what I'm led to believe, that this is the main summit. Right, well, since it's here I might as well have a sit in the shelter, such as it is. It's not the most comfortable place in the world, I don't suppose. But yes, like I said, the wind's howling, it's certainly come in handy. And going down from here, I believe there's something of a nasty going down that way, heading on to the rest of the walk. I believe it's a bad step, and the suggestion is to go back and down into a depression and then round the bottom here, which is I think what Barbara and I did last time when we were coming the opposite way. We got to the foot here and came around. So let's just see how that goes. The way back down appears to be in the middle of the picture here, I think. I've seen some people going down that way, and there's a path leading down that way. That's the nasty drop down that I was referring to from the top of Glaramara. So I've come round down this way. When I took this route from a book 20 years ago, I did so because the author suggested that it was an ideal route to start fell walking. And I quote, "It's the best route to start, the ascent is fairly easy." Now he was coming the opposite way to what I've come today, but we didn't agree with him 20 years ago, and I don't agree with him today. The route has been anything but straightforward in places, and I'm glad I've got the GPS watch to guide me, because like I said, it isn't the easiest route to find by any means. So yeah, I will take issue with that about it being an ideal start to fell walking. Certainly there are much better fells that you can start with, but having said that, I've thoroughly enjoyed the walk. I've seen some lovely scenery, beautiful waterfalls, another couple of Wainwrights. So yeah, can't argue with that. It's been a lovely day weather-wise as well, so everything's gone right today. But like I said, I just don't agree with his description of the route. This is one of the infrequent cairns that I've seen on this return leg. And I've said before, you get past in the Lake District which are blatantly obvious, and there's thousands of cairns. Well, I'm overstating it, lots and lots of cairns on them. And then you get past like this when you really need them, and they're very sporadic. But that's looking back down into the valley now, towards Rostthwaite, what have you. The best that this camera will do, but that's Castle Crag in the middle of the picture. Derwent Water is behind. Well, it's got really warm this last hour or so, hence the Elvis Presley look. And yeah, although there's quite a strong breeze on top, there's been next to nothing for quite a while, but it's just getting up a little again now. So that's providing a bit of comfort. But I'm making my way slowly down into Seatolly now. And it is a long drop, is this? The village doesn't seem to be getting any closer. Although it must be. But yeah, it's taken a long time to get down here. There's another of these sporadic cairns down there. I just haven't seen one since the last one. So take it as you will. Are they any use or what? Well, especially on a path which is pretty obvious at the moment. You haven't a cat and no chance of seeing it, but you might be able to hear it. There's a helicopter hovering around just below the beak here. Now, there's obviously someone in trouble at the moment. I haven't done as much filming as I wanted to do on the way down. I keep saying it's a difficult descent, nothing to show for it, but truth is, I've got to keep concentrating. the underfoot conditions aren't great, so this filming is difficult, unfortunately. But that's where I've come down from. Quite impressive. Someone's having the tea. That was far from easy to come down. Hands and feet and backsides and what have you. Just what you don't need at the end of a long walk. Whew. Let's hope the rest of the walk's a little easier. I've been hearing the sound of running water off the mountain to my right for some way now, but I can't get near it. It's torture. I could do just soaking my head in there for a few minutes. But not at the moment, unfortunately. The road's in sight now, so that's a good sign. Right, well, I'm just making my way down to Strands Bridge now, which is pretty much where I started the walk. And then it's just a matter of walking along the road back into Seatoller and the car park. So yeah, it's been a tough walk as this. I've enjoyed it, but it's been tough. But as I said before, I can't complain about the weather. The weather's been absolutely beautiful and the scenery, well, absolutely awesome, really. You know, I mean, what can I say? I've seen an awful lot of good scenery today, and even now, look at that at the finish. Goodness me. But as I said, I'm tired, and it's going to be a couple of hours of a drive home, and that's not going to help. But never mind. It could be worse. I could be sat at home. So, as I said before, thank you for sticking with me till the end. If you do, I would appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and a like. And if you haven't, maybe consider subscribing. I'd be very much appreciated. And then you'll get notifications of any further walks that I do in future. So, like I said, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. It's overgrown as this path. Tough walk. I'm glad to get back to the car and have a bit of a rest before I set off.